Let's start that over. Good morning, Unity Spiritual Center. My name is Dr. Gary, and I'm the platform assistant today. I want to welcome everyone to our worship service, and I want to especially welcome our online audience. If you'd like to turn and wave to the folks who are watching us online. Our purpose is to transform lives and to inspire people to make a positive difference in our world. And in order for us to be able to do that, we need to know the truth, and we're going to speak the truth in just a moment. I'm going to share our foundation principle and invite you to share it with me. There is only one presence and one power active in my life and in the universe, God the good. Together, please. There is only one presence and one power active in my life and in the universe, God the good. That's our foundation principle. So today our speaker is Dr. Jane, and her talk title is Not on My Watch. And boy, are you guys in for something today. And I'll be doing the meditation. We're blessed today to have Britt and Scott with us today. I appreciate you filling in for the Sean and Tani. And so let's begin our fellowship time, our fellowship song. Let's stand if you are able and sing together. Spirit's Journey.
Good morning. I'm Linda Tweedy, and I have your announcements.
I know we're falling back, and now we're
Fall back. Next Saturday night, so you're at church at the right time. And that's the only announcement.
I'm up. Am I on? No. It's me.
Switch the slides? Yes. Okay.
Uh-oh.
Hang on a second. Everybody, this
Gary's
is...
got to do a touch-up.
Unmute yourselves.
I don't think that he couldn't see
Not
your
coming
face.
on.
I think he's milking that.
No, I'm not milking this.
All right, let's use this mic then. Ellie?
Okay, let me...
So, good morning, everybody. Yep. So, let's just hold off on this. We'll work with it in a minute. So, here I am to share with you Transformational Stories update. And typically, this is the time we have people come forward who have transformational stories about how they have used unity principles in their life and that sort of thing. And but today, we're going to do something a little different. First of all, we're going to invite Gary and someone special up to this platform. This is Rima Benario.
And we are the Q Effect.
We are the Q Effect. How many of you have done the Q process? Rima is one of the co-founders and co-creators of the Q process. And the three of us have worked together for a long time. And we are so blessed. And she's here this weekend because we have had a Q Coach Summit all weekend long, and we've had people here in person as well as people online joining us throughout the weekend, and we have our afternoon session coming up. So we do have some Q coaches who've joined us this morning. I'll just ask you to stand if you're a Q coach and you're here visiting.
And they're from all over the
All
world.
all over the place. Welcome to all of you. We are delighted you're here. Thank you. But there's another part to this that I want to share with you. It's a transformational story that affects all of us here at Unity Spiritual Center. We are a tithing community. We donate 10% of all of the love offerings, all the gifts, all the tithes that are given to us to a variety of recipients. And we divide our tithe between Unity Worldwide Ministries, which is our parent organization at Unity Village, and our Northwest region, which we're part of a region, and we donate to that region, and it helps to pay for some of the services that we receive from them. And the rest, the other third, we give to a number of different mission-compatible organizations that are local. But we don't just tithe. We tithe in a certain way. We tithe as source, knowing that we are source in expression and that we want to donate to things that will help spirit show up in that arena, is kind of a way of thinking of it. And so earlier this year, we were bequeathed $35,000 from a former congregant who passed away. And we wanted to give 10% of that to a place where the money would make the biggest difference. And so as a board, we sat and considered all of those places that we had in mind, and we settled on one, and that was Catholic Charities here in town, who recently built housing for the homeless. Yes. And we contacted them to tell them we were going to give them this money and to ask how best to give it to them. You know, what arena is the best one. And they joyfully suggested that we donate it to the services that they have for those who are seeking housing. And they were so very grateful to get that money. It was just a beautiful experience to donate. Well, we recently received a letter from them letting us know that they used our $3,500 to provide housing for 36 households, comprised of 47 adults and 30 children. And I cried when I read that letter. With our gift, we've helped keep 77 people from losing their housing. So know that your financial support to Unity Spiritual Center is making a positive difference in our community and helping other people outside of our community in their transformative process. So thank you.
So let us begin our meditation by focusing our awareness on our heart space. As you settle your attention there, just simply sense your beating heart. Perhaps you can even feel it. But simply become aware of this center and begin to activate it by bringing into your mind's eye someone or something that you appreciate. It could be a family member, a life partner, a beloved pet, a cherished child, a fond memory. Whatever carries with it the felt sense of appreciation, of gratitude. Allow that feeling to begin to expand right at the very center. And as you feel your center open, imagine yourself extending that feeling of appreciation and gratitude beyond your physical self, as if pouring into this space, filling it so that together we create a field, a coherent field, a field within which all things are possible, where all things are working together for a greater good. And so we open ourselves now to the influence of this energetic field, this 0 point, this place within which our essence has dominion. So we open ourselves to that presence, that capacity to be. And sitting in the awareness of this essence that is the truth of us, we simply allow our sense of appreciation and gratitude to be our prayer, to be the magnet that draws back into our life anything that is needed and necessary for healing, for hope, for comfort, for peace. We simply be in the awareness of our oneness with God, our oneness with each other, our oneness with all life in the silence. Breathe in and release. We release ourselves now to the care and keeping of Spirit, recognizing that we are the one unto our own life and to this world. We give thanks that we've been empowered by Spirit to be a presence unto our world, and for this opportunity to bring forth the greater good that is our essence, our love, our appreciation, our care, our kindness, our ability to make the difference. We are grateful. Thank you, God. So it is. Amen.
There is healing in my soul. There is healing in my words. There is healing in my tongue. There is healing in my hands. There is healing in my mind. There is healing in my for God is healing me. For God is healing me.
Beautiful. Thank you. Thank you so much. Wasn't that beautiful? Gorgeous. Well, good morning, everyone. For the past few weeks, Okay. For the past few weeks, my Sunday messages have centered around the basic unity principles. And today I'm going to combine the principles 4 and 5, since in my mind they are interconnected. But I want to begin our time together by showing you a short video that was created by some teens, some of our YOUers, at an International Youth of Unity event that was at Unity Village a few years ago. And this is their depiction of their interpretation of the 5 basic principles. So enjoy.
Oh, I didn't see you there. Good morning and welcome to the Unity Shopping Network, the USN. And we cannot wait to show you this amazing product that we have for you today. The Unity Principle number 1. There is only one presence in the universe, and that is God the Good. This product is so great that we're going to offer it to you for such a low cost of free, even minus shipping. We cannot wait to show you this product because it is going to change your life.
God.
God. God.
God? God.
But wait, there's more. When you call right now, we're going to throw in Unity Principle number 2 for free. God is all good and active in everything, everywhere. This is such an amazing product here, and we have a testimonial from a very satisfied customer.
One time I tried Unity Principle number 2, and I started to see God in myself. And then I started to see God in other people. It was crazy.
Call in the next 15 minutes, and we're going to throw in Unity Principle number 3. That is, thoughts held in mind produce after their kind. And don't take my word for it. We have a great demonstration to show you just how effective this product is.
It's so hot outside. I'm melting.
My mouth is dry and I'm just so thirsty. I affirm that I'm gonna get me some water. Oh my god. This just appeared.
How do you do that?
I just affirmed it.
What? I'm going to affirm that it's going to rain. Oh, you feel it? It's raining. It feels so good.
This offer keeps getting better. If the first 3 Unity Principles didn't sell you, this one will. Unity Principle number 4. Through prayer and meditation, I connect with God and bring out the good in my life. If we cut to camera 2 now, we can see this Unity Principle in action. Look how these lovely ladies meditate to connect with their Christ self.
They're skipping and meditating.
But that's not all. Call right now, and we're going to throw in Unity Principle number 5. It is important to live the truth we know. This Unity Principle is so powerful, it has changed people's lives. Look how it has right now.
Oh my gosh, do you need help?
Thank you so much.
Don't think we're done yet. We're going to double the offer. You're going to get 2 sets of Unity Principles, one for yourself and one for a friend, family member, or loved one. You get to bring out the Christ light in someone else. And remember, to bring out the Christ light in someone else is almost as great as to bring it out in you. So call now.
Yay, God!
These are wise people. So to recap, and this is the first one, the foundation one, there's only one presence, one power active in my life. All of principle is that every one of us is an expression of life, expression of spirit. And the third principle is that we create our experience of life through the thoughts and the beliefs that we routinely have. Those thoughts and beliefs become the filter through which we view the world. Now, the fourth principle says that we have spiritual tools we can use, prayer and meditation, that can help us to access the divinity within. And the fifth principle says we need to live the truth that we know. In other words, it's not just enough for us to read about this stuff, you know. We have to do it. We have to take action. Put the principles into practice if we want to see transformation in our lives. It's, as Gandhi famously said, we need to be the change that we seek. But As New Thought teacher Ernest Holmes points out, it is far easier to teach the truth than it is to practice the truth. That's right. And you may have heard the old question, would you rather go to heaven or go to a workshop on how to get there? Sign me up for that workshop. So the work begins here and moves outwardly. And we're not talking about just busy work. The action that we take needs to be in complete integrity with our divine essence, inspired action that springs forth from our internal guidance, because there's a marked difference between busy work and embodiment. There's a difference between reading about a new, healthier diet and then actually cooking and eating a healthier meal. There's a big difference in those two. So we want to take action that's in alignment with our deeper, authentic self, and that embodies the change that we want to see in the world. So, quick quiz. What do the following people have in common? Ralph Waldo Emerson, Lao Tzu, Frank Outlaw, Charles Reed, Stephen Covey, the Buddha, and Margaret Thatcher's dad. Give up? Every one of those individuals has been credited with the following quote: "Watch your thoughts, they become words. Watch your words, they become deeds. Watch your deeds, they become habits. Watch your habits, they become character." And character is everything. So whoever said it, maybe they all did, the message is clear. Our thoughts become our words, become our deeds, become our habits, become our character, become our life. And so outer action is tied to what's going on inside of us and what we're believing about ourselves and about life. And if our actions are not in alignment with the truth of who we are, we will not see the transformation in the outer world that we're hoping for. Now, my talk title today is Not on My Watch. And there's a story behind that title. I heard those words being spoken with such passion and such resolve that something inside of me stirred. I was at Unity Village for last June's Unity Convention, and Gary and I attended the Sunday service, which was being led by a dynamic minister from Sacramento named Kevin Ross. And he's been involved in activism for years, a very strong voice for equality and for peace. And in that talk, he said that something was sparked in him when an unarmed young African-American man in Sacramento was sitting in his grandmother's backyard talking on his cell phone one night when he was shot and killed by police. They thought his cell phone was a gun. How many of you remember that happening? Kevin said that his heart broke open and he rose up with those words on his lips, "Not on my watch." And he was moved to take spiritual social action. And as I listened to him, his words landed for me. They were backed with such passion. There was an electricity in the room that just was unmistakable. And suddenly something in me rose up and my heart opened wider and wider to the need for me to stop sitting on the sidelines. And I sat up ramrod straight and I looked over at Gary and I saw in his eyes he was having an oh no moment. He was witnessing something, the awakening of a force, my mama bear spiritual warrior energy, and I could read in his eyes he was very concerned about where this was going to go. But I saw so clearly in that moment how important it was to me, for my grandchildren, to have a world that is safe, to have a planet that's habitable, to grow up healthy. And in that moment, I made a vow to take responsibility for that to be a reality. It became my mission. And that doesn't mean that I do it all by myself, but it does mean that I do my part. And I decided in that moment that I would not rest until I see a more compassionate, kind world actualized. Amen. But here's the thing. In order to find a kinder, compassionate world out there, what has to happen? I need to create a kinder, more compassionate world in here. If I want a cleaner environment, I need to clean up my own inner environment and work with any negative thinking that I'm dumping out on the world. New Thought teacher Emmett Fox teaches to stop focusing on the problem and focus on God. Center yourself, immerse yourself in presence. Let that fill your heart, fill your mind, your entire being with divine wisdom and understanding. Let Spirit lead you. Let it inspire you into fulfilling your potential, your mission, the reason that you're here. And this does not mean that we ignore what's happening in the outer world. We don't just become navel gazers here and not do anything to make the world a better place. It's not about using our spiritual principles to abdicate responsibility, no. But we have to begin within so that we can take action without the shadowy contamination of an unhealed past. You know, there's a correlation between experiencing God and taking compassionate action, and that means we do the inner work along with the outer work. Prayer is not a substitute for action, and action is not a substitute for prayer. The fourth and fifth principles go hand in hand, and we want to use both, because then we have a winning formula for success. So it's about allowing divine action to take place through me, resulting in the emergence of something new. And the moment of the actualizing of that something new, it already exists. It already exists in potential. And it will find us. But we need to be prepared and ready when that moment arrives. And that means we become what we seek. Act in a way that invites more of what you wish to manifest. Become emotionally aligned with what you want to see in the world, and then embody the change. And sometimes we think, well, what will my little action do? It's a drop in the ocean. But if you remember, I asked this question earlier in this series, which drop in the ocean is insignificant? The answer is none. In fact, Rumi says we are the entire ocean in a drop. We have the ocean of oneness behind us. Have you felt a stirring within you? Anyone? A desire for a kinder world? Well, imagine if that stirring is really our own inner power answering a call to greatness, spirit rising, our true essence, waking up and saying, it's time for us. It's time. It's time to act. Because the world I'm seeing reflected back to me is not one I want for my children, for our gay and lesbian and transgender brothers and sisters, for people of color, people of other faiths. Not on my watch. So what does Spirit tell you to do and to become in order to be the change? That voice will not steer us wrong. The infinite has our back. And you know, I discovered that in a way that I really didn't expect in my younger years. At that time, I was an aerobics instructor at a gym, and the people that were on staff at the gym were hired, if they wanted to be concert security. So I became concert security. Now, I worked in a school library in the daytime, and then in the evenings, I taught aerobics and took karate. And then on the weekends, I did concert security. And the people I worked with in my school used to make, jokes about it. Librarian by day, concert security by night. Now, fun fact, my first job was backstage guarding Madonna's wardrobe. Tried a few things on. No, I didn't. I did not do that. Let's just say that I didn't find her very warm and fuzzy. But I worked at concerts from Metallica to Grateful Dead to David Bowie and everything in between. Now, one time I was at an outdoor venue and they assigned me to a side gate that people would try to sneak through to get in for free. And they put me there alone with a promise that they would send someone to join me. And they handed me a walkie-talkie, that's before the days of cell phones, and they left me there. Now, pretty quickly, I discovered two things. The first was the walkie-talkie didn't work. The second was nobody was joining me on that gate. I was it. So do you see my dilemma here? Now, there was a policeman on a horse patrolling the perimeter, being Canada and all. And he came over to me and he said jokingly, "What are you, a black belt in karate or something, that they're leaving you here by yourself?" Well, I was actually working to become a black belt. I wasn't then. But I said, "No, they're supposed to send some help soon." And I said, "Can you stick around for a while?" "No," he said, "I have to keep going around." And he was like the Mountie going off into the sunset, you know. "Oh, come back." And he wished me well. Well, a little while later, two guys came along and they started talking to me. And then finally one of them said, "Will you just let us in? We want to sneak in. Will you let us in?" And I said, "I wish I could, but I can't. I'm sorry." I said, "You know what? There's lots of other gates. Why don't you go try one? Somebody else." You see, this company, one thing they might do, they were famous for, was sending these little decoys around just to see how you might react to them. Anyway, I didn't know if they were or not, but off they went. Okay. Time went on, and then all of a sudden, I saw them again. Only this time, there were more people with them. There were 5 guys this time. And they were sizing up the gate and me. And I could see what was going to happen. They were going to rush this gate. They were going to bulldoze their way in just right over top of me. Now, truth be told, I really didn't care if they snuck in for free. I mean, I was going to do my job as security, but I wasn't going to put myself in danger to guard that gate. In karate, I was learning self-defense techniques, but the number one rule of self-defense is you don't get yourself in dangerous situations to begin with. You avoid them when you can. And I was standing there and I could hear my instructor's voice in my head, "Do not try to be Bruce Lee." So I could see by their body language they were getting ready to move. And there were 5 of them, 1 of me. And so I looked at all my options. What I was not going to do was try to be Wonder Woman and just stop this rush physically. No Bruce Lee antics for me. That was definitely out. So I realized one option I had was that I could just abandon my post. I could march all the way over to that security trailer, give them a piece of my mind for the defective walkie-talkie and no backup. I thought, maybe I'll do that. The other was I could just motion to these guys, "Go ahead," right? And both seemed viable to me. What would you have done? Were you at the first service? Okay, so I decided to take one more moment and ask Spirit what to do. I was pretty sure the answer would be, just get out of the way and let them in. And so I paused, asked my heart, but that's not what I heard. Instead, the voice said, "Pray."
Why didn't the walkie-talkie work?
It did not work. It didn't have batteries or something, I don't know. And I argued back, "Hello, I am praying." And then as clear as day I heard, "Pray with the walkie-talkie." And so I picked it up and I called the infinite. I said, "Yes, I'm here at gate number 7 with no backup. There's a group of guys who are getting ready to rush this gate. I need some help." And then I started nodding my head, looking at my watch. I looked over as if, "Oh, okay, I see you. Thank you." And when I looked back, they were leaving. They thought I had called for backup, which I had. They just didn't know it was the infinite I called backup. Now, I would have never thought of doing that as a way to fend somebody off. And yet something totally out of the blue, unexpected, nothing I could have predicted, is what came to me, and it worked. Now, they were far enough away to not be able to hear what I was saying, but what they saw was enough to discourage them from trying to run over me to get inside. And I didn't have a lot invested in it. If they snuck in, I wasn't going to lose any sleep over it. But I was concerned about my own safety. And I didn't want to put myself in a position where I could get hurt. But this very kind of unorthodox answer to my dilemma showed me very clearly that when I listen to Spirit, something comes forth that I couldn't predict. Do you see? And when I follow the guidance, amazing things happen. About 3 minutes after my walkie-talkie prayer, 2 angels in the form of 2 big burly guys showed up and joined me on the gate. So, nothing is too great or too small for Spirit's guidance. Nothing is too great or too small for Spirit's guidance. And that is a good thing, because the kind of issues and challenges we're facing right now as a human family are beyond anything we've seen in the past. Ecologically, socially, politically, pipe bombs sent through the mail to political figures, mass shootings at synagogues. In so many arenas, we are seeing events that need our help to change. And I can't stand by and watch as species become extinct, as oceans die, as climate change wreaks havoc and violence tears our world apart. I can't turn a blind eye. Instead, I turn within. I ask for guidance. I listen to Spirit. I wait for and watch the nudges I receive, the ideas that pop into my head, the opportunities for compassionate action that show up for me to take. And then I take the action I'm guided to do, even if it's praying into a non-functioning walkie-talkie. The truth is, we are extensions of God in time and space. Do you know that about yourself? Every one of us is here to make a difference. Do not discount your ability to make a difference in this world. I mean, it takes all of us to be the change, to clean up our own inner environment so that we can midwife a world that works for all. No matter what the outer appearance tells us, infinite alternatives to our present reality exist right now. And when we come into contact with the state of consciousness that aligns with the alternative, we will bring it into fruition. Everything exists within the quantum field, within infinity, within reality, within the one life. It already exists as a probability. We just need to move ourselves into the same vibration it occupies. And stop identifying with the old reality and start identifying with the new. And so action is not just about doing. It's much more about being. We midwife causal energy to be birthed into form through embodying the change, being who we've come here to be, unencumbered by the conditioned behaviors and reactivity that can run our lives, no longer at the mercy of the patterns of thoughts and beliefs that take the lead, that cause us to walk through life on autopilot. That's why we do the Q process. That's why these wonderful beings of light who are Q coaches are here this weekend with us. Divine intelligence is calling us ever upward. Do you feel it? Yes. Say it like you mean it. Yes. What if a kinder world out there comes into manifestation in the world within? Can you imagine that? We are so much more than the limited self we believe ourselves to be, so do not sell yourself short. We have a divine identity, and it's time we took action from that authentic self, and it takes clearing away all that keeps us from experiencing the truth of our being. So be the change. Be the version of yourself that is already experiencing the reality you want to bring forth. Embody it. Begin at the end point. See it. Feel it, be it, and move to a new viewpoint where the reality you're wanting to manifest already exists. The inner has to match the outer. So physicalize the reality you want to see come forth, and the way to begin that process is to ask for guidance. So here's a practice that you can use to discover the best authentic action you can take for any issue that you have. First, write down all the actions you can see as possibilities. Let your mind tell you all that's possible. Give your mind free rein to come up with as many as possible. Now, pause. Take some time. Go into the silence. Go to your heart. Feel that appreciation. Let it rise up. Let it fill your body. Go to that deeper intelligence of the heart and ask. Ask to be shown the right path. Ask to receive direction that is so clear you cannot possibly misunderstand it. And then listen for an answer. And it may not come immediately, but it could. Maybe it's the form of a nudge or an impulse. Maybe it's something someone says to you out of the blue, or an idea that pops into your head, or a book that falls off the shelf into your hands, or an intuitive sense that feels right. And the more time you spend in the silence, asking and listening, the clearer it will get for you. And then take action as you follow that gentle, healing voice. And how can you tell it's the voice of God? Well, it won't tell you to do something cruel or harmful to yourself or anyone else. It won't steer you wrong. It will show you the loving way to do something, the non-violent path, the creative path. Pray into a walkie-talkie. Try that. Emmett Fox says our one sin is suppression. Now, here's what that means to me. That if I spend my life not expressing my authentic self and letting the conditioned, egoic personality run the show, I am missing the mark of why I'm here, which is exactly what the word sin refers to. It's an archery term that means missing the mark. And I don't know about you, but I don't want to look back on my time here and think I missed the mark. I didn't do what I said I would do. I didn't stand up and make that choice. You with me? Yes. My goal is to not have that happen to anyone. Not on my watch.
I don't know what to say. Go ahead and take that. Go ahead. Unity stands for peace in the presence of conflict, for love in the presence of hatred, and for forgiveness in the presence of injury. Unity honors the many names for God, the many paths to God, the many ways of worshiping God, for we know that there is only one power and one presence that is God, and that God loves us all equally. So whoever you are and wherever you are on your transformational journey, if this is your first time with us here at Unity Spiritual Center, we wish to welcome you. If you feel comfortable enough to identify yourself by raising your hand, our ushers have a packet that they would love to share with you. And we're going to get that to you in just a second. And also up front here and then on your way back, Alan, that way, great. So on the outside of the packet is a form. If you'll fill this out and place in the love offering basket during our offertory, we'll take that and place you on our emailing list. You'll receive a weekly update with respect to the activities and things that are happening here at Unity Spiritual Center, as well as place you on our newsletter, receiving it quarterly. And then you can take that packet over to the barista stand and receive a free beverage of your choice over there. They'll fix you up. Then take it on over to the bookstore and you get a free copy of this morning's awesome talk. And then you can also watch it online as our online audience is watching it. And so also we want to recognize that we have folks who are wearing a yellow scarf. This is our welcome team. Our welcome team, could you please rise so that you are visible? So all the folks who are here for the first time, these people are here to welcome you and to make sure you have all the information that you need to know just exactly what's happening here, so you can find an activity or an experience that's aligned with your journey. And so in a moment, we'll welcome and greet each other, and we do so with an appropriate handshake or a hug or a high five, a fist bump, and we'll have a fellowship song to get us started, and then we'll greet each other, and then we'll quickly settle back down. Our studio, our online audience is going to critique this portion of our service to find out if it's as coherent as it should be for us. So.
Good morning. My name is Jim Sledge. I have the privilege of being the treasurer on your board of trustees. Offerings. Your tithes and gifts and love offerings don't stop here. They go out into our community and show an opportunity that we can give through our tithes and offerings. So we all know that generosity and abundance and gratitude are all interconnected. So let's our prosperity blessing together. I know that my giving blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, and all that I give and receive. I give thanks for the abundance that is mine to share, and so it is.
This piece is called Love Will Be Our Home. I really love the lyrics to this one, and I'm hoping you all can help me out. So the key phrase is Love Will Be Our Home. It will be very apparent toward the end of the song, and I'd love it if you all join in.
Is really where the heart is, and home must be a place we all can share. For even without differences, our hearts are much the same. And where our love is, we'll come together there. Wherever there is laughter ringing, someone smiling, someone dreaming, we can live together there. Love will be our home. Wherever there are children singing, and a tender heart is beating, we can live together there. Love will be our home. With love, our hearts can be a family, and home can bring this family face to face. And though we may be far apart, our hearts can be as one. When love brings us together in one place. Wherever there is laughter ringing, someone smiling, someone dreaming, we can live together there. Love will be our home. Wherever there are words of kindness spoken, where a vow is never broken, we can live together there. Love will be our
So we want to take a moment now to receive these gifts coming to us now twice blessed. Blessed in the lives of those who have given, and blessed in the life of this ministry and its unfolding of love, peace, and transformation. For this we are grateful. Thank you, God. So it is. Amen. We want to take this also a time to appreciate the effort that went into this last weekend. Our landscape team and volunteers spent the morning, yesterday, cleaning things up. And also we want to acknowledge Mary Christensen, who also takes care of our indoor plants and tends to those as well. And so if the landscape team and anyone who takes care of our living creatures, please rise so we can appreciate you. Thank you so much. Okay. And we did invite people to dress up if you're so inclined. And so those of you who came in costume, could you please stand so we can appreciate your celebration? Okay, thank you. All right, and so next we want to acknowledge our chaplains, and so we have Al and we have Tim. Our chaplains hold the consciousness of our service each Sunday, and so we appreciate them holding the space for us, and they're here after service today to support you in prayer. And so if you have a prayer need or a celebration, please avail yourself. They'll be up after service. Thank you so much. Also, in your seat backs pockets, you have two forms. One is a prayer request form. If you fill out your prayer request, we'll be happy to pray with you for 7 days. Prayer box is up front, and there's one in the foyer, and also we send those off to Silent Unity at the end of that week, and they pray with you for 30 days additionally. Also, if you know someone who is in a nursing home or hospital and would want to have a visitation from a member of our chaplain team, you can fill out that form as well and put it in the box also. All right, it's time now to welcome our young people, and as they come in together, let's sing them in together.
Yes, I have two quick things. One is that right after the service at 12, well, we're finished soon, but anyway, as soon as the church is over, we'd like to invite the adults who brought these children to go through the line first and get their snacks, and then the adults will go into the youth area that's upstairs. The tiniest ones would go into the nursery at the end of the hall, and the little bit older ones would go downstairs, taking their snacks with them, because there's a short meeting with the adults upstairs, and there's a Halloween party downstairs with some games that the older kids are hosting, so that, yes, and then we're seeing that it will all be over in an hour. It's not a long thing, but there are some snacks downstairs, but for sure you want to go through these incredible snacks upstairs. The other thing is not such a happy thing for somebody whose license tag on a Jeep is 1940. Please see me right out here, and we will talk about your car.
So let's bless our youth and their mentors and teachers together, please. Be the love you are. Sing the song you hear. Share your joy of life with people far and near. And for ourselves and the world, be the love we are. Sing the song we hear. Share our joy of life with people far and near. Okay, so go get with the people you came here with.
Went through all three boys.
How you doing?
I met her dad, came up to introduce himself to me. All right, so the Seahawks are playing today. That's why we're kind of thin today. Most of the folks came at the first service so they can make the game. But we're... Yeah, we'll see the ending, right? Okay. All right, so it's time to finish. So let's stand if you're able. We'll say our closing prayer and then sing our closing song. Together, the light of God surrounds us. I am the light of God. The love of God enfolds us. I am the love of God. The power of God protects us. I am the power of God. The presence of God watches over us. I am the presence of God. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well. And that's the truth.